I cheated on my husband and regret it, but he already planned his revenge. I never thought I would betray him. After 10 years of marriage, I believed our bond was unbreakable. He was calm, dependable, and loving, or at least he had been. But life has a way of tempting even the strongest hearts, and mine faltered. It started innocently enough. I met Alex at a conference for work, and he was magnetic, funny, charming, and dangerously confident. At first, it was just small talk, shared lunches, and lingering glances. I told myself it was harmless. But one evening when my husband David was away on a business trip, I let myself be reckless. One kiss led to another, and suddenly I was entangled in a web of guilt and passion that I hadn't anticipated. The weeks that followed were torturous. I tried to end it with Alex, but the thrill of secrecy kept pulling me back. At home, David seemed oblivious, yet I couldn't shake the feeling that he knew something. I hid my phone, deleted messages, and spun lies so effortlessly I began to believe them myself. Then one evening, everything changed. I came home to find the house dark and quiet. David was sitting in the living room, a glass of wine in hand, staring at me with an intensity I hadn't seen before. "I know," he said simply. My heart froze. My mind raced. "Know what?" I asked, trying to mask my panic. "That you've been unfaithful," he replied, his voice calm but icy. "I've known for weeks." Panic turned into guilt, and guilt into fear. "David, He held up a hand. "Don't speak. I want to see if you understand what you've done." What followed was surreal. He didn't yell, didn't cry, and didn't storm out. Instead, he began to plot, not just to confront me, but to make me feel the consequences of my betrayal in a way I would never forget. David's revenge was meticulous. It started with subtle things, missing items around the house, messages I hadn't sent appearing on my phone, a sense that I was being watched. I thought I was imagining it, until one night I found a series of letters carefully placed in my purse. Each one detailed my indiscretions with exact dates, times, and even Alex's secrets that I had never shared with anyone. The fear escalated when he began manipulating Alex. I caught snippets of conversations that made my stomach churn. David knew about every lie I had told, every hidden rendezvous. He wasn't just exposing me, he was controlling the narrative. Then came the confrontation I will never forget. David invited Alex to our home, claiming it was for a friendly discussion. I was shaking, desperate, humiliated. Alex walked in, confident and charming as ever, only to be met by David's cold, calculated demeanor. Within minutes, David had laid out the evidence, leaving Alex speechless and terrified. It wasn't just about the affair. It was about power, control, and revenge. David didn't want to destroy me, but he wanted me to understand the depth of my betrayal. He made me confront Alex's duplicity, my lies, and the fragility of the trust I had shattered. By the time the night ended, I was broken. Alex left, never to return, and I sat with David, tears streaming down my face. I begged for forgiveness, not knowing if it was possible. And then, in a voice that was almost gentle, David said, "You have a choice. You can either rebuild what we had, or lose it forever. But know this, I won't let betrayal go unanswered." Months have passed since that night. I have worked tirelessly to regain David's trust. Every action, every word, every moment is a step toward redemption. He watches me closely, measuring, judging, and sometimes I see the faintest shadow of a smile that tells me he is willing to forgive, but only if I continue to prove my loyalty. I cheated. I regret it with every fiber of my being. But the true horror wasn't the act itself. It was realizing that the man I underestimated had already planned his revenge. A revenge not of violence, but of revelation, confrontation, and the slow, relentless restoration of truth. I learned that betrayal can awaken a darkness in someone you thought you knew. And now, every time I look at David, I see not only the man I married, but also the force that reminded me that love, once broken, can demand a reckoning far beyond what the heart can bear. I am living with that reckoning every day and hoping that, somehow, it's enough to earn back the trust I threw away.